It was American author Fletcher Niebel that said, "Our forefathers made one mistake. What they should have fought for was representation without taxation." In this lesson, we're going to file Form 1040 to compute tax liability, and we're going to understand how to report different types of income using Form 1040 and Schedule 1, all to answer the question, how can you compute your tax liability? Before we get into it, let's make sure we're ready for this lesson by looking at warm-up number 2. Determine if the given point is a solution to the set of the Determine if the given point is in the solution set for the system 2x minus 4y is greater than or equal to 8 and y plus x is less than or equal to negative 2. I feel like the easiest way to get all of this is just by saying let's graph both these lines. When x is 0, then y is negative 2. When y is 0, then x is 4. This is going to give us a nice straight line. Now the question is, do I shade above or below? So let's ask about 0, 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 8, which is false. So we would shade beneath the line to find all of the answers that are correct for that inequality. If x is 0, then y would be negative 2. If y was 0, then x would be negative 2. So is 0 in the shaded area? Is 0 less than or equal to negative 2? No, it is not. So we would shade on the left side of this line. Now, looking at the graph, we can look at these points. When x is negative 2 and y is negative 4, are we in the double shaded area? Yes, we are. So this is an answer. When x is 0 and y is negative 2, are we in the double shaded area? Yes, we are. We are in the intersections because both of these have equal signs. So that is in. And when x is 2 and y is negative 3, we're only in one of the shaded areas, so this is not an answer. Now let's take a look at a problem that you will be able to do by the end of this lesson. The Volpe family had a tax liability of T dollars, and their employers withheld W dollars in federal taxes, where W is greater than T. Do they owe the government money, or are they entitled to a refund? Well, they had W withheld, which is greater than T. Now, this is how much they had to pay, which means that T minus W would equal their refund. People who earn money in the United States pay taxes to help run the government services. The amount you are responsible for paying is called your tax liability. People don't like paying taxes, but they realize it is necessary and they cooperate with the procedure. This is known as voluntary compliance. You can lower your tax burden if you learn about taxes. The more you know, the more you can save. You learned in the lessons on employment basics that you do not want to pay your income taxes until the end of the year. You contribute them all year long when your employer withholds some of your paycheck and sends that money to the government. A tax return is a document, paper or electronic, that is used to report your income to the government and to figure out whether you have paid enough income tax or not enough. Form 1040 and Form 1040 SR for senior citizens is a tax return that, line by line, will guide you through figuring out whether you owe the government money or the government owes you a refund. You can report income from wages, interest, stock dividends, pensions, unemployment insurance, royalties, business, alimony, Social Security, and many other sources of income on a 1040. Did you ever see someone win a car on a TV game show? They had to pay income tax on the value of that car. Some of the income is reported directly on Form 1040, and some is reported on a Schedule 1, an additional income and adjustments to income. Form 1040 itself is only 2 pages long. However, there are dozens of additional attachments called forms or schedules that can be attached to the Form 1040 when the IRS needs specific explanation of your finances. Schedule B, interest on dividend income, is used to list sources of interest and dividend income that exceeds a certain amount, currently $1,500. It tells the IRS who paid you interest and dividends and how much you received from each. You will learn more about other forms and schedules in the next lesson. There are dozens of them, and there are people whose tax returns can be hundreds of pages long. Remember, it takes years to fully learn the tax code, and even experienced accountants are always learning new changes and new tax codes, which occur annually. In this section, we're going to learn how to fill out a Form 1040 with a few attachments used to report income. Once you become familiar with those forms, the next lesson will expand on this knowledge. Now, let's file a Form 1040 to compute tax liability. Margaret and Brian O'Sullivan are married. They have one child, Carole. Margaret works for a sports cable station and Brian is a cameraman. Their address is 12 Rumbottoms Street, Arlington, New York, 12603. The information from their W-2 forms is shown on the screen. Fill out the first page of their Form 1040 and use all zeros for the Social Security number. They must choose a filing status on the first line, and they file married filing jointly. This means the husband and wife will combine their financial information onto one Form 1040. They enter their names, address, and Social Security numbers in the appropriate field. Notice that there is a line about standard deductions. The IRS allows all taxpayers to not pay taxes on all their income. Every taxpayer is allowed a standard amount they can subtract from their income before computing tax liability. The O'Sullivans did not need to check any of these boxes. Notice that they checked the box declaring that they had a full year health care insurance. They did not check any box under Presidential Election Campaign Fund. This is a fund that presidential candidates can draw from to help finance a campaign. If they had checked the box, $3 of their tax liability would have been sent to the fund. Carole, their daughter, is considered a dependent, which means she relies on them for financial support. They will sign and date the form when it is completed. Many lines on a Form 1040 say, "See instructions." The IRS publishes an instruction booklet for Form 1040, which is very helpful. Look for it on the internet at www.irs.gov. Now, let's check our understanding. The Form 1040 will compute the O'Sullivans' federal income tax liability for the year. FICA and Medicare taxes are separate from federal income tax. How much money did the O'Sullivans pay in FICA and Medicare? Well, on their listing, we saw that Brian paid $2,883.06 to Social Security. We can see that Margaret paid $3,101.24 to Social Security. To Medicare, Brian paid $674.26, and Margaret paid $725.29. When we add all of this up, we get $7,383.85. Now, let's understand how to report different types of income using a Schedule B. Brian and Margaret had an interest of $812 from Seaford Bank, $877 from Buffalo Bank. They received stock dividends of $444 from GM stock and $1,200 from Home Depot stock. Find the total income from wages, bank interest, and ordinary stock dividends, and use this information to fill out those lines on page 2 of the 1040. So we know that they had $46,501 plus $50,020 to get $96,521. But let's find their total in interest. They had $812 and $877 for $1,689. So they received $1,689 in taxable bank interest. Now their stocks had $444 and $1,200, which gave them $1,644. That's $1,644 in dividends. These totals are entered into 1040 on the appropriate lines. If either the interest or the dividend amount is greater than $1,500, they must complete a Schedule B. Both their interest and dividend amounts exceed $1,500, and here is their Schedule B filled out. Schedule B gets attached to Form 1040 either as an electronic file or stapled to a paper return. Let's check our understanding of this. A family had $1,123 in bank interest. Must they report this line on the Schedule B? Well, since $1,123 is less than $1,500, there's no need for a Schedule B. Now, let's understand how to report different types of income using a Schedule 1. Margaret won $900 in the state lottery. She was also unemployed for a few weeks and collected $1,341 in unemployment insurance. Brian has a small side business making leather crafts and a taxable income from that of $698. He also receives royalties from a commercial jingle he wrote, and the taxable income from that is $1,987.67. What is the total additional income? To report this additional income, they need a Schedule 1, which is attached to Form 1040 that can be used to report other types of income. Look at the additional income section of a Schedule 1. Enter Margaret's unemployment insurance on line 7 of Schedule 1 and enter the prize on line 8, other income. Enter Brian's business income on line 3 and note that he had to fill out a form called a Schedule C, business income, to give the IRS financial details on his business income and expenses. Enter his royalty income on line 5 and note that he had to fill out a Schedule E, supplemental income, to give the IRS financial details on his royalty income and expenses. Now, 698 and 1,988 and the 1,341 along with the 900 gives us a total 4,927. So we're going to enter 4927 on line 9 of Schedule 1 as shown on the screen. Let's check our understanding of this. The Lombardi family has a business income of B dollars, royalty income of $356, capital gains from selling stock of $908, and rental income of D dollars. They also had an A dollar in alimony income on Schedule 1. Express their total income for line 9 of Schedule 1 algebraically. Well, we're just going to add in all of these unknown A plus B plus D, but we're going to add the known amount, $1,264. This is the $900 or the $908 and the $356 combined. What is the O'Sullivan's total income on line 7B and 8B of Form 1040? Add the amounts from line 1, 2B, 3B, and 7A to find the entry for line 7B and line 8B. So $96,521 plus $1,689 plus the $1,644 and the $49.27 to get a total of $104,781. Let's check our understanding of this. Tabitha had a wage of W dollars, interest of I dollars, and a dividend of D dollars. She also had A dollars in additional income on Schedule 1. Express her total income for line 7B of Form 1040 algebraically. Well, here we get to simply add everything up, and we get to say W plus the I plus D plus A. The O'Sullivan family will take advantage of the standard deduction to lower their taxable income. How much is their standard deduction? Look at the left margin of Form 1040 for the bulleted list of the information as shown. Since the O'Sullivans' filing status is married filing jointly, their standard deduction is $24,400. They enter this on line 9 and line 11A of the Form 1040. Let's check our understanding. As a single parent, Adabella is filing as head of household. How much higher is her standard deduction than if she were filing single? Well, head of household means that she can get $18,350. Had she filed single, her standard deduction would have been $12,200. This means she gets an additional $6,150 deduction. What is the O'Sullivan's taxable income after they take the standard deduction? Their taxable income is entered on 11B of Form 1040. They subtract line 11A, their standard deduction, from line 8B, their adjusted gross income. So $104,871 minus their deduction of $24,400 means $80,381 is their taxable income, and it is entered on line 11B as shown. Let's check our understanding of this. Pete's total income was X dollars. His filing status was single, express his taxable income after taking the standard deduction algebraically. This means we're going to have X, how much money he earned, and subtract his standard deduction of $12,200, and that's going to give us our expression. What is the tax on the taxable income from 11B of the O'Sullivan's Form 1040? You could see that the O'Sullivans would much rather look up $80,381 on the tax table instead of their total income. By lowering their taxable income, the standard deduction lowers their taxes. By going to tax tables to find their taxes, we can be sure to look under the married filing jointly column. Their tax is $9,400, and it is entered on line 12A, 12B, 14, and 16, shown here. How much did the standard deduction lower the O'Sullivans' taxes, and round to the nearest dollar? Before the deduction, they had $104,781. This means they would be multiplying that by 22% or 0.22. This would give $23,051.82. They would get to subtract $8,283 from that, which would give $14,768. But in fact, they paid taxes on $80,381 because of the standard deduction. This means they paid $9,400 in taxes. This gives them a tax savings of $5,369. Not too bad for using that standard deduction. Brian and Margaret O'Sullivan had federal income taxes withheld in every paycheck. Their employers sent this money to the federal government. Did their employers withhold enough money to cover the $9,400 tax liability for the year? Look at their federal income tax withheld in the tax table. They had $4,761.12 and $4,101.18, meaning they had a total $8,862.30 withheld. Their employers withheld $8,862.30 for federal taxes. This amount is rounded to the nearest dollar of $8,862. It is entered on line 17 and 19 of Form 1040. The O'Sullivans' employers did not withhold enough money to cover their taxes, since $8,862 is less than $9,400. Let's check our understanding. Gwen's tax liability of T dollars. She had two jobs during the year. One employer withheld R dollars and the other withheld H dollars. Express her federal income tax withheld algebraically. The tax liability is sort of a red herring. It's not really having to do with this. When it comes to figuring out her tax liability, it's simply R plus H. What is the difference between the tax and the amount the employers withheld for the O'Sullivans? Do the O'Sullivans owe the federal government money, or are they getting a refund? The O'Sullivans' tax liability from the tax table was $9,400. Their employers withheld $8,862. Since $9,400 is greater than $8,862, the O'Sullivans owe the government money. So we're going to take $9,400 and subtract $8,862 to get $538. This amount is entered into line 23 of Form 1040. The O'Sullivans review their return and sign and date the form. The O'Sullivans must include a check payable to the U.S. Treasury for $538 when they file their tax return. They may choose to have this electronically deducted directly from their savings account if they file their tax form electronically. Let's check our understanding. The Volpe family had a tax liability of T dollars, and their employers withheld W dollars in federal taxes, where W is greater than T. Do they owe the government money, or are they entitled to a refund? They are entitled to a refund since the employers took out more than their tax liability.